It is so sunny today. Yes. Hello everyone, my name is Avneet. I'm a vet and an artist working in UK, and welcome to part 2 of How Australia Changed My Life. A story of adventure, wildlife and love. So if you haven't seen part 1, you'll need to know what happens in part 1. Give it a click. Get it. So both me and my sister have got tickets to fly to Australia. My sister's visa actually ended up coming through 36 hours before the flight. We pretty much packed for a year about a night before we left. Stuff all over the floor. It was wild. 27-hour journey across the globe. It was long and pretty tiring. But the most surreal thing about the whole journey was the last leg of the flight. We could see the entire reef from the plane, and then all the mountains, and then the mangroves, and it was an extraordinary view. It was like landing in Jurassic Park. It makes it sound not very nice, but it was. And when the plane finally landed, we walked out to like a smacked in the face by humidity because it's a jungle. Cairns is a jungle. I actually stupidly only took about £200, so we kind of had to use that money to kind of survive off food. I bought a really cheap bike to like get to work, and our first pay was only due like 2 weeks after starting work, so we kind of like survived slightly homelessly for the first like 2 weeks. It was absolutely fine. Like, we just kept it really simple, ate really simply. The land was too beautiful to even worry about being able to afford anything. The nature was overwhelmingly stunning. It was very surreal cycling to work and seeing cockatoos just on lampposts. And the oceans and the mountains, it was absolutely exquisite. And I joined a small animal practice pretty quickly, and the culture was absolutely fine. And the practice manager was lovely, and the nurses were really, really nice. People seem to understand the work-life balance, something that's kind of almost non-existent in UK work culture. When your work finishes and when your shift finishes, you leave and you do something different. And that is, I feel like that's embedded into Australian culture of making a separation between work and life. And I learned a big lesson going over to Australia to work, because I would have never learned to have that distinction. And I feel like that a really good relationship with work and your own life makes you a sustainable worker. So there I was working as a vet in this first world jungle, my sister by my side working in the hospital. I was so inspired by the wildlife, so inspired by the nature, that I organically just started to paint. I was just like, I'm gonna paint all these birds, and there are like lorikeets, small fig parrots, cockatoos, and the fish. The marine life is off the charts. Like, if you think you know what a colour palette is, go to the Great Barrier Reef, because it will make you redefine what you think colour is. Eventually I started doing like little commissions and little bits of work, and people were starting to buy artwork from me, which was kind of huge. It was a huge step for me, because it had been so long since doing art. And the practice manager who I was working for at the time said to me, hey, you should book a market. You should have a market stall. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for part 3.